There are 12 people in this meeting. The project lead has just outlined the plan for the next quarter. Everyone nodded. A few people said it sounded solid. One person said they were excited. The meeting ended. In the elevator afterward, two of them turned to each other and said they thought the plan would fail. In the parking lot, three more said the same thing to three different people. By the next morning, 8 of the 12 had privately told someone they disagreed. Not one of them said it in the room. The plan moved forward with what looked like full support from a team that quietly believed it was a mistake. 8 months earlier, this team agreed on everything, or at least it looked that way. The first time someone held back an objection, it was small, a deadline that felt too tight. One person opened their mouth, noticed everyone else nodding along, and closed it again. It did not feel like a decision, it felt like reading the room. The deadline passed. The project ran late. Nobody said "I told you so," because nobody had told anyone anything. The second time was easier. By the third time, it was automatic, scanning the room, finding stillness, matching it. A skill nobody asked for and everybody learned. A German political scientist named Elisabeth Noelle-Neumann spent years studying what happens when people believe their opinion is not shared by the group around them. She gave the pattern a name in 1974, the spiral of silence. The cycle works like this. You have an opinion. Before you say it, you scan the room. You listen for signals. Are people nodding at the thing you disagree with? Are they laughing at the joke you did not find funny? Are the faces calm and settled while your stomach is not? If the room seems to already agree on something you do not believe, you stay quiet. You do this to protect yourself, not to lie. But the result is a lie anyway, because the next person scanning the room does not hear your opinion. They hear the same silence you heard. They make the same choice. They stay quiet too. Each silent person makes the next person's silence more likely. Each round erases more of the real opinion from the visible conversation. The only views left standing are the ones stated first and stated loudest. The room did not agree. The room just stopped talking. The part of this spiral you cannot see from inside is the counting method. You never actually count the room. You count the noise. These are not the same thing. When you scan a meeting, a comment section, a dinner table, a group chat, you are not running a poll. You are listening for volume. 3 people with strong opinions in a room of 30 will feel like the whole room if the other 27 say nothing, and the 27 say nothing because the 3 sound like the whole room. That is the invisible gear. Loud gets mistaken for many. Many gets mistaken for few. Both sides are wrong about the size of their own group, and neither side checks, because checking would require speaking, and speaking is exactly what the spiral prevents. Noelle-Neumann tested this with something she called the train test. She asked people to imagine a long ride with a stranger sitting beside them. The stranger brings up a political topic. Would you engage, or would you rather not discuss it? People who believed their opinion matched the majority were willing to talk. People who believed they held the minority view wanted nothing to do with the conversation. Same opinion, same private confidence. The only variable was whether they thought the public was on their side. She tracked this across German federal elections and watched it happen in real time. When media coverage suggested one side was gaining ground, people on that side spoke up more. People on the other side went quiet. Not because they changed their minds, because they thought they were outnumbered, and being outnumbered felt like being exposed, and being exposed felt dangerous. The spiral was never about who was right, it was about who was willing to be visible. The spiral starts slow. One meeting where nobody pushes back. One group chat where a strong opinion floats past and everybody lets it sit there. One dinner where the loudest person at the table sets the tone and everyone else becomes very interested in their food. Each silence is small. Each one is forgettable on its own, but they stack. After 6 months, the group carries a whole collection of things everyone privately disagrees with and nobody has ever said out loud. After a year, the gap between what people actually think and what people say has grown so wide that someone speaking the real majority opinion would sound radical. Not because it is radical. Because it has been absent so long it sounds unfamiliar. We all know what familiar sounds like. We assume it means normal. It does not. It means repeated. The spiral does not just hide the minority opinion. Given enough time, it turns the actual majority into something that sounds like a fringe position, even to the people who hold it. You know the person in the group chat, the one who drops opinions like they are weather reports. Confident, frequent, unbothered by pushback, because pushback never comes. You also know that most of the group disagrees with at least half of what this person says. You know this because of the side conversations. The private messages, the threads that start with a screenshot and end with everyone agreeing the loud person is wrong. Everyone agrees in private. Nobody says it in the group. The group is a performance of consensus, staged for an audience of people who all know it is a performance. 40 people nodding at something none of them believe, each one certain they are the only one pretending. There is a process at your work. Maybe a weekly meeting, maybe a report that nobody reads, maybe a review cycle that produces nothing and costs everyone an afternoon. You have heard 5 separate people complain about it, in hallways, in coffee lines, behind closed doors. 5 people, same opinion, 5 private conversations, 0 public ones. The meeting survives not because anyone believes in it, but because nobody knows that everyone wants it dead. It has outlived its purpose by months, possibly years, kept alive entirely by the silence of people who assume they are the only ones who noticed. You are at a table with people you know. Someone brings up a topic, something in the news, something about how people should live or vote or spend their money. You disagree. The disagreement sits behind your ribs, physical and clear. You look around. Nobody else is reacting. Flat faces, chewing, neutral. So you take a sip of your drink and let the moment pass. You tell yourself you are picking your battles. You tell yourself this is not the time. What you are actually doing is the same calculation Noelle-Neumann measured in a lab 50 years ago. You scanned the room was quiet. You matched it. Not strategy, not maturity, just the spiral, turning you the same way it turns everyone. The spiral carries a defense built into its own structure. The moment you understand how it works, you face a clean choice. Say what you think and risk being the only voice in a room that might secretly agree with you, but sounds like it does not. Or stay quiet, fully aware of why you are staying quiet, and add your weight to the silence anyway. Most people choose the second one, not because they are cowards, because understanding the spiral does not change the math. Speaking up still feels like stepping into an empty room with the lights off. The brain still counts volume instead of people. You can explain this concept at a dinner party. You can draw the whole cycle on a napkin and sound very smart doing it. Then the next uncomfortable topic surfaces, and your eyes move to the room before your mouth opens, and you do the scan, and the room is quiet, and you match it again. Knowing the name of the machine does not turn it off. The room was never against you, it was waiting.